Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Keith, for that. That was great. We started Petrol Lithium brine exploration probably about 2 years ago. We picked up some property in Alberta, and we've only been listed for about 4 months. We're a new company on the scene. We spent the time previous to that really vetting this project and putting it through its paces to test it under our own expertise before we took it into the public realm. Now we're here, and we're capitalized to go forward and actually put some money into the ground on this. Broad picture for the company, our phase 1 development goal over the next several years is to develop an economically feasible project capable of delivering circa 20,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent. One of the benefits that we have, I'll talk to the EV market maybe first. So I think a lot of people already understand the lithium market and what's driving it. It's really EVs, it's battery storage. From us, we look at it as a bigger picture than just electric cars. I think it's growing into the start of maybe a paradigm shift in how we use and store electricity and energy in general. You can see that with the large-scale battery backup facilities that Los Angeles has built and Adelaide have commissioned to build with Tesla. Those are really going to use lithium as a commodity significantly more than the EV market. And just a note on that, the Model 3 has been touted to use up the complete current supply of lithium in the market, and most of the growth projections aren't accounting for those large battery facilities. So what we're seeing, and those 2 points on the bottom right really sort of attribute to this, is this very strong demand side growth with limited supply response. And that supply response coming from the long lead time it takes projects to develop. And that's where we think we have an advantage. Petrol Lithium is a bit of a new phrase, but if you're in the oil and gas industry in Alberta or in the world, it's not that much dissimilar from what's going on in the petroleum space. Effectively, it's an oil and gas reservoir is mostly water. The oil and gas sits on the top of it. It's targeted to produce simply oil and gas. And I'll go through in a bit more detail later on about exactly why this project is going to be as big as we think it is. Alberta is extremely well situated to be on the forefront of the Petrol Lithium space. Infrastructure in place, actively producing wells, roads, rail, all around our project area. You can see we're 10 kilometers north of Calgary, and we extend all the way up towards Camrose, if you're familiar with Alberta. We're low cost and highly leveraged. We can move very quickly and very efficiently into this space. Like I said, we've only been around for 4 months, and we're already driving towards our first maiden mineral resource. So Petrol Lithium in Alberta, what it comes down to is the size of the reservoir. So we've picked up a large land package of lithium rights over something called the LaDuke Reef Trend, or the LaDuke Reservoir in Alberta. The LaDuke #1 well in 1947 was oil discovery in Alberta. Since then, it's been produced for its oil and in places gas. All of that is nearing the end of its production life cycle. It's been around for 60 and 70 years in places. We can now take advantage of that with the available infrastructure and with underutilized industry in Alberta at the moment. This is not that much dissimilar in terms of how we would produce the water than an oil and gas project in Alberta. So what this all means for us is similar to the land holding for Falcon. We have almost the exact same 1.4 million acres of property, and that gives us the rights to the lithium. Now that's overstaked on top of the petroleum and natural gas rights, so we're in the same reservoir. And again, I'll go through that in a diagram. What that really means for us, though, is that we really truly understand this reservoir. We're not spending years exploring, trying to find out if there's lithium there, how much, how big the reservoir can be, and putting all that together with drilling and expensive exploration. We're highly leveraged with being able to go out the back end of an actively producing oil and gas well, sample it for lithium, and put a resource together. The LaDuke can also deliver high volumes of water, which I think is going to be a fundamental key to lithium projects, especially the direct brine projects such as ourselves, moving into the future. So I've been alluding to this diagram on the left. Basically, this is a cross-section through our reservoir. You can see at the very top on the left and right side of this diagram, a little orange and green, that's representing the oil and gas in the reservoir. The blue represents the water. So what this actually means is that these reservoirs are 95 to 98% water from the very beginning. They've been produced for 60, 70 years to develop the oil and gas out of them. There's very little of that left, and we're remaining with the oil. The LaDuke has been tested historically to contain up to 140 milligrams per liter. It averages somewhere around 80 to 90 in our area, and does get as high as 140. We put this together to compare with the Pure Energy PEA that came out in August, simply to show the scale of this project. Our concentrations are similar to Pure Energy's project in the Clayton Valley. The production rates is really what sets this apart. We're 50 times higher production volumes available from our reservoir than the Clayton Valley project. And what that means is 50 times more water through a processing plant, so the available lithium to be produced from this reservoir is that much greater. And again, the infrastructure point of Alberta is fundamental to this project, and the fact that we're able to move it so quickly. Already in place, we're already taking advantage of this, so we're sampling wells. We've got 50 wells we've already sampled. Those results are at the lab right now. There's 43 wells at the lab right now being analyzed for their lithium concentration. We expect, again, though, to get results back similar to the historic results that I've outlined. And the fundamental cost benefit that we have to this is a couple of $100 million worth of exploration costs that's been spent by oil and gas exploration over the past 60 years in our area that we're able to capitalize on in Alberta. All of that data is available to us. We're working with operators to get access to the stuff that's proprietary, and we have already, to look at the production rates. All of that means that we don't have to do very much work to put together the information we need for a resource. So we raised a small amount of money, $900,000 recently. It's only going to cost us a couple $100,000 to put the resource together. And if you compare that to any other project in terms of a hard rock or lithium brine project, that is just not heard of, that sort of cost structure. So, to give you an idea how this is going to work conceptually, this is a diagram of what's currently existing, aside from the bolt-on lithium extraction plant. So essentially, they're pulling the oil and gas out of the ground right now. It's 98% water. They separate the oil and gas and they pump the water back down the reservoir. Conceptually, we would just add on a lithium extraction plant to the back end of that and produce the lithium from it. It's honestly not that much more complicated than that, the extraction technology being the key. So we're working right now with numerous different companies. So extraction technology has come a long way, especially in the direct brine portion of things. We're able to produce a lithium product in the days time scale. Salars in South America, generally they're in the 18 to 24 months. That puts us at a huge time gap advantage. It also puts our operating costs significantly lower and allows us to return a product to market very quickly. We're working with the University of Alberta on a concentration, so a concentrate essentially, that will go to current technology that's readily available today. We've given some examples from Pure Energy's PEA simply because they're the only ones at the moment that have a technical report public available for you all to read, so we've given them examples of that. The development plan for the company over the next 18 to 24 months. Right now we're working feverishly to put a resource together before the end of 2017. That's going to be the catalyst to move into the extraction technology side of things. So our hope is to work with the numerous extraction technology companies during 2018, testing the various technologies, combining that with the work the University of Alberta has already completed, and to be in the process or have completed building a pilot plant by the end of 2018, early 2019, which we can bolt on to a currently producing well and test it for the extraction of lithium. So moving very, very quickly, considering we're still only 4 months old. This is just a really quick snapshot of our peers. Again, we're new, so you can see us on the bottom left. We're sitting there quite at the bottom, $6.5 million market cap. For us, it's all about growth potential right now. As we put validity to what we're doing, which is in the form of a mineral resource, as well as the sampling that we're doing, confirming the historic results, we believe we're going to see a significant growth of the company over the short term. Okay, so I'll wrap it up. We've got a great management team wrapping behind us. All this information's on your memory stick. We also have it on the website. We've updated the presentation on the website, so feel free to go there and check it out. To wrap this up, there's really 4 pillars that we believe are required for a lithium project such as ours. The concentration of lithium in the water, the size of the reservoir, the production rates that you can achieve, and the extraction technology. By the end of 2017, in the next couple of months, we hope to tick the first 3 of those off and be working on the 4th. So moving very quickly. Thank you for your time.